A lot of newcomers to crypto right now are likely a little bit anxious because the markets just keep falling and falling, and you're probably asking yourself either, what do I do next? Or I don't have enough money to buy the dip. What do I do? What's someone like maybe No BS doing? Well, in this video, I'm going to take you through not a hypothetical plan on what you might do. I'm going to take you through my exact strategy for this particular dip and what I've gone ahead and done so far. It looks to be a fantastic buying opportunity. Matter of fact, I've even texted my brother today and said, look, if you want to get into crypto, now's probably one of your best chances. So I don't think this is any sort of cause to panic. I think, matter of fact, we should be popping those confetti sticks because this is the market giving us an opportunity to make some really big gains. And of course, the purpose behind this video is to make sure that when you leave, you are more educated than what you actually came into the video. And if you do, drop a like to help support my work. But importantly, I want you to subscribe so that you can achieve your crypto goals. Staying tuned to the very end is probably a very important thing for you to do because I am going to exactly tell you which altcoin I sold, which 4 altcoins I bought with the money I made from selling that first altcoin, and which altcoin I was going to sell and all of the reasons why. Now, it's not worth skipping to the end because if you do, you're not going to understand why I sold them. I see so many comments from people saying, oh, you did this, you did that, and then they just jump the gun. They don't actually listen to the reasons why I do things. And I'm going to tell you why that is very important to do with an example of situation I spoke about a month and a half ago that is so far playing out in my favor. It's very easy to get carried away by looking at all your altcoins and thinking to yourself, well, they're down double digits, I'm going to panic, or I'm going to sell some, and I'm going to, some positions I'm down on, I'm going to like take that out and put into a different coin, and then you begin to make the worst mistakes of your life. First of all, this is a healthy correction. This is actually very typical of us to have at the point we're at right now where we've hit the all-time high. Again, let me say, this is normal. Take the last cycle we had. Once we touched, we moved sideways for about a month. We pushed up almost a 2.5x before coming down again, giving us another buy opportunity. The cycle before that was even longer. Once we touched, it was almost 2 months, up 2.5x, down about 35%. So whether you're new to crypto or experienced, this is something everyone needs to know. Is this time different? Well, how many bloody times are we here in crypto? This time it's different. This time it's that, and da-da-da-da. I mean, like this example from back in 2017, we might actually have a pretty sizable dip from here. Who really knows? As we can see here, we've come up and we might come a little bit lower. There's a few TA guys out there predicting some of these things, and I'm not going to say I'm a technical analysis. I'm not going to give you some buy zones and then manage to change these every other day. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, when in doubt, zoom the hell out. And that is where we'll see momentarily here. I have started to take all of these different variables. You'll see I'm going to talk about something else in a moment. And all of this is part of the reason why I've decided to sell one of these altcoins and buy a whole bunch of others. So first of all, it's the fact that we are in possibly a lengthening cycle. As you can see over here, we're in this 5th wave, which could mean that the cycle is going to end a lot sooner than people expect. It's going to cut a lot of people off, which is very bad. You can imagine what would happen if we come down, expect this sort of 30% retracement like we had over here, and then we have this fake out, and then we come into a bear market. So I'm not going to talk about the lengthening cycle. I've spoken about this so many times now. It's kind of getting a little bit old, but if you haven't looked at this, watch a video I made 2 days ago. It will explain everything in somewhat more detail than what I am today. So with this in consideration, the coin I've sold out of particularly has been Quant. Now, the reason I've sold Quant here is just because the narrative it is in, not the quality of the coin. I think this is one of the best coins in the space. Likely might not have a true alt season like these existing ones we're seeing right now, AI, deep in gaming, meme coins, so on, which might mean that 5th and final leg up that we're in right now, if it doesn't pump in this period, again, if this is even correct, then it may not pump much at all. Now, Quant tends to beat to its own drum, and you can argue all day, every day about how it's building momentum and all this sort of stuff. That's fine. If Quant pumps to $400 tomorrow, I'm not going to be upset because the 4 coins I've dollar cost averaged into, I have conviction in based on their meme, how unique they are, and the fact that they have shown the narratives they're in so far are very popular. This chart exemplifies what I'm saying here. In crypto, the way you want to look at an altcoin is where is it situated? Is it an AI coin? Is it a gaming coin? Is it a meme coin? Is it a Web3 layer 1 coin? What the hell is it? And how many what is it does it have? Is it an AI coin that hits gaming and DePIN like Aether? What does it do? And the more 10 out of 10s of these it ticks off, okay, the better. That means it'll pump from more sort of narratives when the narrative pumps itself. And with these top 10 coins, you can pretty well pick any old altcoin and it's likely going to do well, even if it's kind of shit, even if the meme isn't really there, aka the unique aspect, even if it's not really present, you can get away with a pretty good pump on those projects. It's when we start traversing to the 9s and the 8s where you have to kind of be a little bit more picky with the meme, the unique aspect. It's got to at least present something different. It's got to be unique enough to attract someone to want to actually buy it when the narrative pumps. But then going from 7, 6, 5, 4, and mind you, these are all subjective ratings. These are all my personal opinions. These are the less, I guess, pumpamental-based narratives of the bull run. I'm going to note here IoT, NFTs, decentralized social, Web 2 layer 1s, which Quant actually basically falls into. You have to be very picky in the coins you choose because these are the ones that aren't going to have as much demand into them. Ask yourself, why won't they have much demand, Kyron? Well, I'll answer for you. The reason why they won't is because degens, dumb money, the people who are in crypto buying all the bloody Flocky, Inu, Cum Rocket, 69 to the moon coins, these guys want to see, wow, this is really game-changing. They're not looking for the likes of something like Hedera H-bar, right, where Hedera is pushing through 2,000 TPS every day based on real utility. The governing council members, they're not worried about that. They want to see why is something unique and different and they want to buy it. Hence why I've chosen to sell my quant. Now, I didn't actually sell my H-bar. Yes, this is my entire portfolio you're looking at behind me. The reason why I've kept my H-bar and it's like my highest holding right now is because it is very apparent they are pushing into Web3 very quickly here. And that's proven on the chart. If we look at Quant's chart over here in the last 12 months, and I pull up H-bars, you can see it's obviously gained a lot more. The reason being is because it has been shifting to attract more to the Web3 market. Now, I'm going to ring off a few other Web2 projects here to just give you an indication of what I'm talking about. And this isn't groundbreaking. I presented this information to you on this video over here. Warning, stop buying these altcoins in 2024. Speaking about the projects I'm going to talk to you about here, because while I love all of these coins, like I'm telling you right now, these will be great plays for 2030. These are the ones I built my channel on. These are the ones that I fell in love with crypto from because I loved researching them, like Casper. They're not likely going to be as prosperous, as pumpamentally as these Web3 projects. Again, that's why like Pith, Manta Network, Singularity Net, Fetch, these ones that I do have in my portfolio, Near Protocol, they're going to do much better. I mean, look at the chart over here, right? So it's come down quite a lot. Actually, it's even less than what I bought it for, back over here at like 4 cents or whatever it was. Wakey wakey, for anyone who may be watching this video and falling asleep, I've got just a thing to spring you back to life. Today I'm partnering with Taboo, an altcoin that, well, let's just say is probably right up your alley. As you may have guessed by the name, Taboo is an adult entertainment project that provides media and streaming services with access to their array of models at real-life events. With features like calendars, magazines, NFT collections, and a whole lot more, Taboo offers more than just video content. What they do is provide unprecedented access to models with millions of followers like Chloe Ture, Jaylene Cook, and Jenny Summers, which are some of the hottest models in the adult industry. And since we last spoke about Taboo, they've pumped to a 3x, going from $0.0016 per token to $0.0044, like you can see here, and are now sitting comfortably at just over a 2x, a strong indication that there is a lot of interest in the project. Now, their roadmap indicates that we are due for a marketplace revamp sometime in the first quarter of this year, with the addition of Taboo Metaverse in quarter 2, mobile app and AI companions in quarter 3, and that highly anticipated mansion party in quarter 4. As a matter of fact, they've actually already had their first exclusive mansion party event, which took place in 2022 for their top tier holders. The important thing I really wanted to mention about Taboo is that they are heavily committed to not just falling into the category of another not safe for work project. They've designed their services to really appeal to the widest audience possible while offering all the same services, of course, behind the scenes. The reason actually is quite smart. They're not trying to pigeonhole themselves for marketing purposes, which, as we should all know, is a very important thing in exposure for a brand and company. With the Web 2 adult entertainment market currently on target to break $300 billion worldwide by 2025 and crypto to fall somewhere around 7 trillion, Taboo is a unique blend of two massive markets with the, let's just say, additional benefits, of course. It's important to note that the founders are currently not doxxed, so make sure you guys go ahead and do your own research. And with that said, back to the video. XLM is another example of this. XRP, of course, is as well. I mean, these are coins that I held a lot in my wallet. These are the coins I held. If you watch this video, you will see me actually talking about selling these projects. As you can see, it's moved sideways. And this is, of course, in before everyone down below says, I told you these were stable coins. I don't like buying coins that just move sideways. Never look at just the chart. For the love of God, please don't be one of them people, like I see influencers all the time. They sit here and they go, as you can see, guys, the chart has just moved sideways. This is obviously telling us that it's not a good coin. And then when it launches, they go, oh, well, yeah, it had all these upgrades and that was why it pumped. I mean, come on. These projects are still fantastic. I think they're going to have their own really prosperous bull run come the next bull run. But as for this one, it's still heavily degen run. I mean, the degens dictate what projects do well and which ones don't. And so that's why you have to look at those narratives I've outlined in this particular document. And that's why I've ranked them so high. Not just that, of course, does it have some sort of unique aspect, all right? What's so cool and interesting about it? And even if it's followed up with no actual utility, doesn't matter. Utility is a facade in this industry, and the quicker you understand it, the better. You know, utility, even if it actually has real, utility, it's the fact that people can see that and they like that, even if it's not much utility. And that's another meme part of it. That's the reason why they go up so much. Hedging into the fact that we might actually have the bull run ending sooner is their Web 2 layer 1 or individual other narratives like XRP and XLM with payments, Quant with interoperability. Are these going to pop off sometime in the next 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 months? What are the coins I've swapped my Quant into? Well, I don't like to show this. The private community has 24/7 access to this in tier 3. But I will show you guys just what I've done today. So as you can see here, sold that 75 Quant, and then I moved it into 4 coins, 1 AGIX, 2 Fetch, 3 Mina, and 4 Manta. Okay, I bought AGIX a little bit more as well on the way down. But the reason why I bought these projects is because they've proven that they're in great narratives, they have a great meme, and they're going to do really, really well. One of my private community members actually asked me, said, Kyron, why did you buy AGIX and Fetch so high? Both of these projects I bought quite high, and at least average in, as you can see, over here, right? And all I kind of had to say was in response, it doesn't matter what the price is or where it has just come from, okay? I mean, it does, don't get me wrong, it's very easy to just simplify. It definitely matters, but as you can see, it went from about 20 or 30 cents up to about $1, so it more or less about 3x. And it's easy to think, why would anyone want to continue buying this project on the way up, as if these coins basically don't have 10, 15, 20x left in the tank? And my response to that is, first of all, check the market cap. The market cap's a pretty good indication of how far it can go. If it's in great narratives and is unique enough, it'll blow past, the 10, 20 billion market cap level, no problem, which for something like AGIX is, of course, a 15, 20, 30x even. And also, if I just zoom back over here to AGIX in sort of like the last cycle, right? If we have a look and put ourselves in this position to where it is today, someone buying the low down here that got lucky, right? Buying it about, let's just say 1 to 1.2 cents, as you can see. And then someone like myself starts buying up over here at, 4 cents or 4.2 cents. And then you can apply the same thinking, right? You can go to yourself, well, Kyron, why are you buying at a 4x increase for? It's not going to really go that much higher. Like, you could have bought down here. Again, it's always perspective. If I just zoom this out, you can see it's absolutely dwarfed by where it actually went to. So from this point over here at about 4.2 cents, it actually went up to 52 cents. So it more than a 10x, all right? And so again, it's always about perspective. While this looks ridiculous, especially if you press all, It's what hasn't come just yet can really shock you, and that's where you can get caught out, basically. Now, you wouldn't want to apply this to a coin, as I said, that isn't in good narratives. Like, again, I did apply with Quant. Quant is quite low. You can argue, hey, we're at the low still. It's got a lot of room to grow. Yes, but if there's no growth to happen, there's no point holding it. Of course, Fetch and AGIX are two of a kind. They're basically both heavily in AI, which I wasn't exposed to really apart from Flux before this, my other deep in play. I've, of course, bought more Manta. Manta hits a whole host of narratives, really popular narratives, basically all of them ranking a 10, so it's a great hold in my opinion. And I also bought more Mina as well. Now, the thing you have to understand about buying altcoins that you have really, really low average buy-ins at, for example, with Mina, my average buy-in was 36 cents. When you have bought projects so low on average, I spoke to a lady from the private community yesterday, right? Shout out to Becky. She had averaged in at Solana at $22. Now, the current price being $180. There's a certain amount of money she can invest in a Solana right now that would bring her average price up to where it's still going to reach her target of a 15x. You're not taking on more risk, right? It's definitely going to hit a certain target. You're just bringing up your average buy-in. Therefore, what you're doing is when you're buying more Solana, you're taking the risk off the table. One other factor I also thought of when I was, making this move was that we are also going to have this eventual massive GFC level event in somewhere between 2025 to 2028, right? This follows the 18-year housing market cycle. This particular chart right here was posted by Jason Pizzinio. Big shout out to Jason, but it was coined. It was created and kind of hypothesized originally by a guy called Philip J. Anderson, who I have a couple books of. And this has been correct so far throughout the whole history of the housing market. There is this 18-year cycle with mid-cycle slowdowns and then, of course, a massive recession that does occur towards the end of it, which is, again, coming the end of this part of the decade. So it is kind of important to think of those people saying, super cycle is due and all this sort of stuff. It's just fugazi, it's fugazi. So this, in combination with us possibly having, a very, very short amount of time left in the bull run, not just that, but the narratives Quant has been and the narratives I've moved into other coins as well was all the reason why I have shifted. You might be thinking to yourself, well, he doesn't hold very many coins. Yes, that is by design. For those of you holding, I think, more than 15 coins, especially if you have a big schedule, right? If you're someone who's very busy at work or whatever, you like to be very social. I don't think, based on my personal experiences and all the people I've spoken to, it's a very smart choice. I mean, you might have ADD or you might have OCD where you can manage that stuff very well. But I think generally for most people, you're playing a risky game, managing news, events, updates, FUD, like real bad news. All of that plays into your daily research, which is what you should be doing, especially at this part of the bull run. And if you can't manage that on top of your actual existing macro research like this, I'm sorry, but there's going to be a point in time where you're going to absolutely crash and burn because there's just so much happening all at once. I personally wouldn't really want to take a hit if you are someone looking to do a similar thing as what I've done. If you are substantially down, of course, losing money in crypto, that takes money off your tax at the end of the year, of course, depending on where you are. But it's still not a good idea to lose a sizable amount. I think 10% down probably isn't a good idea to do that. You don't want to be one of them guys that sells when the market starts going down just to buy back in a few percentages lower. It's called catching your tail, right? It's never going to actually work out well for you. So with that said, everyone, thank you for watching the whole entire video. I expect a little bit of hate down below for selling an asset. Everyone doesn't like when they hear one of their favorite coins has been sold, but this is to suit my personal needs. So do what you want with the information. Thanks all. Bye.